I'm in Salad and I Saw Unhinged. It is directed by Derek Borte, written by Carl Ellsworth. If you haven't seen this movie, I will spoil it for you. This movie starts with following a psychopath kill his cheating wife and her boyfriend. He proceeds to arson the entire house down, and then just continues on with his night. And now we're meeting a lady, and she's having a bad day. She's late to drop off her son. She's getting divorced. Gee, I wonder whose fault that is. That was the first thing I thought when I heard she was going through a divorce. I was like, man, she must have been really terrible to her husband. It turns out that she's getting divorced because of abuse or something. She's taking her kid to school. There's a driver that misses the green light. He just sits there like he's on his phone. And you know what the chick does? She goes, honk! And I'm like, man, I wouldn't even honk for that long. It's so rude to do the long honk. You know what I would do in traffic? I would do the bop, like a little friendly tap. And he even brings it up. You didn't even do a friendly tap. You just did a long, drawn honk. I'm going to take all my frustrations and push it out on you just because you missed the light. And this is the psychopath who killed his wife and her boyfriend. And he is like, yeah, how about we just apologize? You apologize, I apologize. How about I apologize? How about you apologize? She's like, I don't have anything to apologize to you for. I'm like, yes, you do? That was a terrible honk. The action of honking is not bad, especially since the guy is holding up traffic in a green light. I think it'd be fine if he just had a courtesy honk at him. And if people behind her were honking, then she can relay the honks from them back to him in the front. But it can't be that long. That is so annoying. I would also road rage at somebody for that. What she did was uncalled for. But of course, he's like, I'm gonna give you a bad day. I'm gonna show you a bad day. And so he does a maneuver of things. Tries to ram her off the road and then drives off. Follows her to the gas station where she leaves her phone in the car. Why would you do that? Would you ever do that? Dumb, idiot move. I don't think anybody would do this. Especially since nowadays everybody's banking information, social media, all their contact information, literally their lives are on this tiny phone. Why would she leave it in her car? Of course, the psychopath can just yoink her phone, and now he has access to everything she's doing. So basically, he lets her know that he has her phone by leaving his phone in her car. And so they can have a little chat. This chick's on her way to meet her lawyer, her divorce lawyer, who is also a friend of hers. And guess who's there? This psychopath. He ends up killing this man. This psychopath's like, pick your next victim. And she's like, okay, how about the client that I don't care about? But your ex-husband is on a list of people to kill. Why didn't you choose him? If he was such a bad person, why? A, why did you divorce him? And B, why didn't you choose to kill him? I'm going to be impermanent about the commitments that I hold. I even had a child with this guy. But you're going to divorce him in the middle of the child's development? I mean, there are reasons to divorce people, sure, but ultimately, I really do strongly believe in sticking it together, especially if you have a children, because it'll teach the child, although not directly, but through example, it'll teach the child to be resilient within themselves. If you decide to divorce the baby father, you know what that does? That has a lot of insecurity within the child, and now the child's like, oh my goodness, I'm insecure, I'm gonna be in relationships, and he goes to relationships or whatever gender, and they go in relationships, and they're like, oh, after 5 years, I don't like you anymore, I'm going to divorce you, and I'm like, you can't just be teaching these kids that divorce is so easy to access. Why are you letting the government affect your relationship? Why would you do that? Divorces are expensive. Come on, if you're deciding to get married, it should be for a really good reason. Nobody should get married willy-nilly. The only reason you should get married is if you're gonna have a kid. That's it, really. So this lady failed at life. She's the cause of her own divorce, and nobody is going to convince me otherwise. Even her saying it's because of abuse or something, I don't believe it. Women say that all the time. And they'll say abuse is, oh, but I was yelled at. Oh, but I was criticized. Ah! I'm like, that's not abuse. Because of how abuse, the word, is so used so readily and so commonly now, that when she says abuse, I can't tell if she was yelled at or if she was being whipped and chained. But anyway, the psychopath goes to her house, and guess what? Her brother and her brother's wife is there. The brother's wife gets stabbed, and then eventually the brother gets burned alive, and then it's up to this lady to get him, track him down, stop murdering everybody I love. He's about to murder the child, and then she kills him. And then she's like, oh my goodness, my baby, ah! And then a fun time the day after, maybe a couple of weeks after, whatever, an angry driver cuts her off and she doesn't honk because she's like, oh, maybe that's somebody going to kill me. And then the kid's like, good choice. Even the kid during the entirety of the process is like, you don't have to do this, Mom. And she's like, no, my ego's bruised. Yeah, we're having an ego fight. And guess what? She lost. Her ego was not the only thing on the line. She thought the only thing on the line was her ego, but actually her entire lifestyle is on the line. On one hand, I enjoy this movie because don't mess with people you don't know who they are. You might mess with the wrong person. But on the other hand, am I really supposed to feel guilty for a psychopath committing a bunch of murders? Sure, it's against my family because I pissed them off in traffic. But I'm not responsible for that. I'm not responsible for this guy's decision. I am responsible if I was this chick, and I wouldn't do this, by the way. If I were doing, I am responsible for that. Normally, I would not do that, actually, personally, as mint salad. But as this dumb woman, she was, I'm like, don't! You get what you get. And she threw a big fit and her entire family died. RIP family! This is a fun one. I enjoyed the tension. The tensions were high. There are some scenes where I was like, wait, what? Why is this happening? But then it went too quickly for me to really notice. I liked the filming. It was very erratic. I enjoyed the front of the dash cam looking into the car shots. Those were pretty cool. Speaking of cars, I have appeared to lost my car. I really liked it when they were in the cars going... It was really cool. The car scenes were filmed very well. I would definitely recommend this movie. If you haven't seen it, let me know. If you have seen it, let me know. Would you do a road rage, knowing that there might be a psychopath out there to kill your entire family if you do it against them, and you don't apologize? I would still do it. I would give this a 6.9 out of 10. If you like this, if you watch another on the platform, likes that $20 Dinos, patreon.com/ASEPresents, one movie review for 1 month. Go to this link tree support the daily grindness of all them daily movies, so go here. And until next time, in Salad Saw, I'll see you later. My salad croutons and bacon bits. I'm gonna go look for my car now.